A true test of a man's strength is not the number on his back squat, but the amount of force he can use between his thighs to crush a watermelon. Facts.
What is going on, guys? Coach Joe here at the Lions Den, and this is the second installment of the Grow series. Now we're gonna focus on the squat as the main movement, and what we're gonna do is break down my favorite accessories when it comes to strength, and then my favorite accessories when it comes to hypertrophy. So let's dive on into it. All right, so before we even get into my favorite strength accessories, you need to know that you have to be squatting. And one of the biggest things that I ever just give myself credit for as a young athlete was that I was squatting all the time and building that base. So make sure, whether it's high bar or low bar, you have squatting in your program 1 to even 3 to 4 times a week. I don't care, but you need to be squatting. Do not neglect growing your legs and your base. We've said it. It's done, it's dead. Now let's move on. All right, so diving right on into it, we're gonna go into my first favorite strength movement when it comes to strength accessory, and that's something I'll have in my main strength blocks of programming. The first one is gonna be an SSB or a front squat. One of the two options. If you don't have an SSB bar, a front squat is just fine, but I'm a really big fan of the SSB bar. I've done a video review on it before, which I'll link up here so you guys can check that out. A little bit more details on the SSB squat itself. But I really like the SSB because the carryover, especially into strongman, and just how much it strengthens your posterior chain. And what makes the SSB bar unique is it's cambered, so you have to constantly fight that upright position. It's gonna really give you a different feeling in your upper back, your traps, okay, your lower back, and like I said, that whole posterior chain, even in your core, because you're fighting that stability with that bar. It's a very great tool to have, and I suggest that you guys pick one up if you can, or use it at the gym if it is available to you. Number 2 on my list is going to be the dreaded pin squat. And I say dreaded for me in particular is because when I first started doing them, I absolutely did not like them, and the truth is that I just was not good at them. So what they helped me realize is that my bar path was slightly off, and that's kind of the main point of that, is you have to control the eccentric down to make sure you have a nice smooth bar path. You're gonna come to a dead stop and then drive back up out of the hole. So you're gonna get that eccentric, that static pause, and then drive up. And this is something that has really helped carry over to my main squat variation and help me build the strength in the hole or wherever you're stuck. So for the pins, you can set them above parallel, at parallel, or below parallel, wherever you want to work, or just try a different position in the squat. You can also use it for an overload if you wanted to by setting the pins higher so that you can go up heavier in your programming, and that's if you're going to be a little bit more advanced and you have an overload day or variation for an overload slot. Number 3 on my list is going to be a tempo squat variation. So for the tempo squat, you can pick anything you want. Typically I do a 3-0-3, so that's a 3 count down and then a 3 count up. And this just helps, 1, manage fatigue a little bit better in your programming because you're not gonna be able to go as heavy if you're doing something with a longer tempo. And 2, it's also gonna really help build the strength of the legs. Now you could do this for 5 or 6 reps if you wanted to, but I always include the tempo squats in my programming at some point, and it really helps me, and it's helped a lot of clients that I program for. So if you wanna feel the burn, enjoy the suck a little bit, throw in some tempos, high bar, low bar, SSB, whatever squat variation you want, but you're gonna thank me at the end of that cycle. All right, so moving on over to hypertrophy. If you're looking to grow the size of the muscles themselves, higher volume, typically I'll be anywhere from that 8 to 10 range window with my reps, and I'm trying to get in, anywhere from 10 to 20 total sets throughout the week. So the first one on my list is going to be the Bulgarian split squat or some sort of lunge variation. Now the further out in my programming, the more I'll program these into because they're not very specific, but I do love doing Bulgarian split squats. It really helps target the quad, and you're just gonna feel that burn. And I like doing these, like I said, from reps of anywhere from 8 to 10 reps and getting those sets in throughout the week. If you can't do Bulgarian split squats, or it bothers you, or you just don't like them, lunging is just another good variation that you can throw in there, and you can alternate per leg with your reps. Now number 2, because we don't want to neglect the hamstrings, is RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. I really like doing RDLs because it's going to help target the hamstrings, and it's going to carry over to your squat, your deadlift, whatever. You want to have nice, big, strong hamstrings, especially in the sport of strongman or powerlifting. You're gonna need to make those puppies grow. So I like to do RDLs, same thing for more volume. And for this, I like to wear straps just because then I can actually put on more weight and my grip isn't a limiting factor. But RDL is just a staple in my training and something that you guys should throw in there if you haven't already. All right, number 3, and I didn't mean to do this intentionally, but it's gonna be tempos again. You can do tempos for any variation that you want, especially if you're trying to accumulate lots of volume, because when you think about it, 1 rep is 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up, or maybe you do 3 seconds down and explode up. That tempo is just gonna be time under tension. And especially when we're doing volume, we wanna accumulate as much stress as possible to help cause the recovery and then the strength adaptation, so SRA. And tempo is just a great way to do that. Now, like I said, you can pick any movement that you want to add in tempos. So whatever movements you like, if you want to throw them in at some point during the week, just add a tempo and you'll feel a huge difference. 1, in that you're not gonna be able to go as heavy, and 2, you're gonna definitely be getting that volume in because the burning sensation you're getting, it's gonna be pretty gnarly. So throw in tempos. Like I said, didn't want to repeat it, but I had to because I like doing them so much. But there you guys have it. Now I kind of have my secret movement that I'm gonna talk about right now. So my secret movement on the list, and this is just for overall everything: athleticism, strength, conditioning, you name it, explosiveness, whatever. There's everything, and we do these all the time in the Lions Den. I've done them since I was 13 or 14. Can you guess it? Can you guess it? I'll give you like 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. I just counted backwards on my hands. I went 3, 2, 1. Okay, you got the point. It's sled pushing, okay? Sled pushing is awesome all around. If you have a sled, you need to use it, okay? Whether it's for conditioning, whether it's for heavy sled pushes, explosiveness, whatever. If you're an athlete or you're into strength training, you need to be pushing a sled, bottom line. So either go buy one, go make one. I've made them. Welders can make them very easily, or you can just go online and purchase one. They're very versatile. You can throw it in the back of your car, your truck, whatever, take it wherever. But I love doing sled pushes, sled pulls, all different sled exercises, and I incorporate that in my training every week. Somehow I'm doing work with the sled, but that has helped with my leg strength, my explosiveness, my power, just feeling more athletic and aesthetic. And if you guys can get your hands on one of those bad boys, I highly suggest it. You can keep it very simple. You can do 4 or 5 rounds for a 50-foot push or pull. You can do different explosive style pushes. You could do quick sprints, okay, for maybe just 20 feet for 10 rounds if you're trying to just keep it really minimal and just put as much force production into as possible. But like I said, guys, sleds are a secret weapon that you want to make sure that you have in your arsenal. So you guys have it. I just want to keep this video short, simple, to the point, but give you guys some strength accessories and some aesthetic accessories for hypertrophy to build the legs in general. We got the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings. You want to make sure you're hitting all aspects of the legs. And if you guys aren't squatting, you better start squatting now and adding these movements in. But let me know your thoughts down below on what you guys think for your programming. What has worked best for you? What do you really enjoy for the strength and the hypertrophy end of things? But until then, guys, stay a lean, mean strength machine. Hopefully I'll see you at the press clinic August 24th. We have a lot of big collaborations coming up, but a lot of good things are kicking and going off, guys. So I appreciate your support, and I will catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
My name is Joshua Bigler.
And what's your max back squat?
360.
Okay, see what you got.
All right. See if Suzanne Summers taught me anything in the 90s here.
I used to do aerobics till I dropped. Then I found Thigh Master. Every single time you squeeze Thigh Master, you strengthen and tone right where you need it.
Yep, hands have to be removed. Go for it.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
All right, what's your name?
Owen Proctor,
I must break you.
What's your max back squat?
a pathetic 385. Jesus Christ, it's very slippery.
Oh, man.
Oh,
All right, what's your name?
Coach Matt here.
And what's your max back squat?
465 right
And
now.
what does that equate to watermelons crushed?
This watermelon's not getting crushed.
Ready? Oh, come on! No, not.
I forgot to do is obviously chalk the inner thigh.
Joe cheating from the start.
I get it.
oh, let's see it.
Come on.
Squeeze harder. Come on.
Dude, I felt it going.
It's all fun and games till Joe injures himself on the watermelon squeeze. Come on.
Come on, squeeze it harder. Harder.
Oh, maybe this will work. Ready?
Come on.
Come on, Joe. Come on, squeeze harder. Come on. Harder, come on. Come on.
I fucking tapped into another realm for a second there.
Come on. Squeeze it harder. Come on.
Fuck yeah.